Robyn is extremely upset that I'm not reaching out more to my children.
I was putting pressure on Kody to work on his relationships with his kids. It triggered him and it upset him.
Well, this all just came to a head. Our voices are starting to raise. I'm not going to sit here and fight with you and have a rift in our relationship caused by these people who have created the biggest rift in my life. I'm not doing that, okay? I just decided I need to take off.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Monday, October 7th, 2024. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Last night, the fourth episode of season 19 appeared on Sister Wives, and Kody and Robyn's explosive fight was the last half of the episode, really with very little commentary from anyone else in the family. It was wild actually watching the two of them fight, and neither Christine nor Mary weighed in about any of it. Janelle answered some of the accusations that Kody threw out about her daughter Madison and other kids, but it was mostly just Kody and Robyn for like that whole time fighting. A lot of people took Robyn's side in this fight. A lot of people are saying this is staged. It is reality television. And some people don't believe it. Some people think that Robyn is playing the martyr. But I want to talk with you about a few of the things that Kody was screaming about in this argument, because the stage is set that prior to the cameras coming, Kody and Robyn had been in an explosive fight, and that Kody stormed out and he left the house. And as the tensions escalated, they stated. Now, the issue of Kody storming off during fights is nothing new. And if you remember the last season, he stormed off during a fight with Janelle. Now, the fight with Robyn is very different because in this fight, Kody is not mad at Robyn. He is apparently mad at his kids and blaming his kids for basically ruining his relationship with Robyn. But at the same time, he threw in a bunch of stuff about the kids that I don't think many of us knew. And as much as I don't like Robyn, and as much as I recognize that Robyn's behavior contributed to so much of the dysfunction in this family, she was trying to be a voice of reason. Is it a redemption arc, or is she actually trying to change her tune, or is this the real Robyn? I don't know. Like when I posted about it on my Instagram, some of y'all were like, Katie, this is all fake. Some of you are like, I can see Robyn's point. Let's talk about it. The decline of Kody and Robyn's marriage starts now.
I'm tired of being angry.
I know. I'm tired of it too. It's hard.
I'm tired of feeling betrayed. What has happened is in the divorces, the ugly finger of blame has come out. Dad, you were never at my house. I'm sorry, I had 4 wives. I was at your house though, because the other wife was complaining that I was at your house.
I just don't understand why you're not like just talking to the kids as much as you can. Like I just don't know why you're not reaching out to them more.
All of the kids from both sides, either it's Christine's side and Janelle's side, have all said that Kody spent most of his time over at Robyn's house. And it's evident when you look at her house and all of her things and the relationship he has with her kids that he was spending most of his time with Robyn and her kids. Back in Vegas, he was spending almost all of his days at Robyn's house and then would show up at Christine and Janelle's at the night, leave in the morning, very limited interactions with her or her kids. And his life revolved around Robyn. And so for Robyn now to kind of come out and be like, I care about these kids, it makes me sort of be like, well, where were you 10 years ago when you were hoarding all of Kody's time? And honestly, Kody will do what he wants to do. So I don't know that Robyn could have actually done very much. But I don't know, man. Like, they're very careful not to say which kids. And I have a hard time with Robyn, but then she's only being the voice of reason and a counter to Kody's chaos. And I can kind of see where the fractures in this marriage are starting. And I also see that it's slightly staged. And I think it's staged not because this argument didn't happen, but I think they're recreating the argument. Do you know how that happens on reality television? Like a fight happens off scene. And so they try to recreate the logistics of what the conversation was about. And so they kind of do the argument over. I think that's kind of what happens. But I don't know. But Kody's blaming his kids for accusing him of never being around, and Kody doesn't want to take responsibility.
I recently went to a family wedding. The whole family was there. There was so much animosity from some of my family. There's a couple of my kids wouldn't even engage me at the wedding. Some of them wouldn't even talk to me. But some of the kids have flat out rejected me.
I know.
You saw Madison take her kids and scuttle them away from me. She never told me she was pregnant. She never told me she was going to have a baby.
At the wedding, apparently, Madison refused to speak to Kody. And I guess he's claiming that she scuttled off her kids away from him when he tried to approach them. And he's stating that, there's kids in this family that literally will not engage with him, don't want to speak to him, don't want to look at him. And Janelle comes on and basically just says, yes, some of my kids are angry at him, but they're angry at him for how he's treated the family and basically just like given up on the family. And that Maddie 100% did this at the wedding, but it was because she's upset with her father, doesn't speak to him, and Kody apparently hasn't seen her kids in 3 years at that point. So he first met Evie when she was a baby, and then Janelle is saying that he hasn't seen Evie since she was a baby, and she's 3. So Evie doesn't know who Kody is, and she didn't want her kids to be confused by this man trying to play grandpa and be like, "Hi, I'm your grandpa," which I can totally understand, especially if you don't like this guy and you don't want him around your kids. But of course, Cody's acting like this is the biggest slight against him and is trying to use a wedding as sort of a buffer to approach his daughter who doesn't want to speak to him. Not the right time, not the right place to have that conversation. And Madison is definitely in her right to avoid him and not put her kids in the middle of that, because who knows what could happen, right?
They're purposefully leaving me out of their lives to punish me for a crime I did not commit. I am only guilty of not falling madly in love with their mothers. Well, Madison actually called Janelle saying Dad said he didn't love you.
I know, but couldn't you reach out to her?
Every time I talk to her, she spreads gossip about me to the rest of the family. I never said that I didn't love Janelle. On the contrary, I actually said that I loved Janelle. This is some rumor that was created in the family that just sowed division.
Kody is not only manipulating his children, manipulating audiences, and manipulating Robyn, but he's forgetting that he said on camera, and I don't know if this was filmed after the fact of the reunion where he flat out said that he didn't love Janelle. I mean, he has said a million times that he was not in love with Janelle, Christine, or Mary. He has said it a million times. So now he's trying to use that Madison told Janelle that Kody said he didn't love her, even though that's exactly what Kody said. And now he's saying that this is a rumor started by Madison to create division in the family, which is asinine. This is probably why, honestly, the kids want nothing to do with him, because Kody says something and then he pretends like either he didn't say it, he acts like they said it and it's a rumor, or he tries to manipulate them into thinking this was never said or it never happened. Just like he's trying to manipulate them into thinking that they were never with him and they were neglected and that they weren't treated the same way as Robyn's kids. He's manipulating everyone in the situation, and he's even manipulating Robyn, honestly. Like, I know that Robyn has her own part in this and she's a mess and she's contributed to the demise of everything, and that she has definitely pulled rank and treated the kids badly. But Kody is a narcissist and he's definitely trying to manipulate Robyn as well. Like, everyone's getting pit against each other. He's trying to pit them all against each other so none of them can get mad at him. And he's the one that's doing all of it. I don't like Robyn, but Cody's the only one that can make statements like, "I never loved Janelle." He said that. And then he says and lies and says, "I never said that." It's insane.
Our family was killed by gossip.
Kody has this narrative about Madison where she's such the gossip, but he is as big of a gossip. He'd always say that Mary was difficult or Christine was whatever. Like, he would always say things like that. He never said it about Robyn.
What they've done is there's all this contempt.
I'm just having such a hard time with this.
Well, I will reach out to, I will love those children who will allow me to do it.
Kody is so frustrating. Honestly, even if his kid, like he says, the family's killed by gossip, and he's the one that decided to put this family on a show. He's the one that decided to let them all be on a show and they trash talk on the show. That's what they do. They talk about each other on the show and they don't talk to each other about any of this and they just say it on the show. And then there's hurt feelings. And then there's hurt feelings on the top of like all the other stuff that goes along with polygamy. He's going to blame his own daughter for his behavior. It's just, he never takes responsibility. And Robyn starts to lose it because of her dad. So she starts melting down and crying and saying that like Kody is becoming like her dad, who basically walked out on her when she was a child, and she's never had a good relationship with him, and to this day doesn't have a good relationship with him. And she's trying to show to Kody like he's becoming like her dad, and Cody's then it's she's her trauma of being abandoned by her dad is now becoming a focal point in Cody's behavior of him not talking to his kids. It's very convoluted, which honestly doesn't make a lot of sense because if she felt that way, why wasn't she fighting for these kids more when all of this was happening for years?
I'm struggling.
I text one of my kids and they send back notes saying, "You're a piece of trash. I would never speak to you again anyway. I'm not trying to do anything."
Well, if you sit there long enough and like...
I'm not going to do it with the rejection every single time. I'm not abandoning my children. They have betrayed me. Certainly, maybe.
But they're kids and they're trying
to... No, they're adults.
They're your kids, though.
I know.
They're still young.
But they have...
I figured out the difference between how Robyn fights and how the other women fight. Robyn leans into her emotions and she uses like her trauma as a manipulation tactic for Kody to like get him to like listen to her and will like start crying to show him that like he's affecting her. So she manipulates with her emotions, whereas the other ladies might just fight back. But Kody can't even let this poor woman get a word in edgewise. And I'm, not a fan of Robyn, by the way. It's clear to me that the reason why he reacts to her the way that he does is because she starts crying when he gets loud. And all he does is get loud and he gets in her space and he gets in her face. And he's done this with every single one of the women. I don't believe that Kody is any different with Robyn than he is with any of the other women. The difference is Robyn emotionally manipulates with tears and reacts to him with tears, and he reacts to that differently than them yelling or withdrawing. But he also likes Robyn better because I don't know why, honestly. Maybe she's easier to control or easier to steamroll or easier to push around. I don't know, honestly. But he spends the bulk of this argument literally steamrolling her and not letting her get a word in edgewise, which is what he's done in every fight with every other wife.
They are purposefully leaving me out of their lives to punish me for a crime I did not commit. It's like, we want to sit down with you, Dad, and blame you for everything that happened. There's no respect.
Oh, I'm having a hard time not like feeling like losing respect for you a little bit. I'm trying to be problematic, honest.
Is blaming me for what happened, or you, which is a bunch of crap. And I don't need to sit down with them and have to defend you.
Remember when Kody said that the only thing that mattered to him is respect? So here he says that his kids call him trash and they never want to speak to him again. They blame him for everything and they don't want to talk with him. They're punishing him for a crime that he didn't commit. He did. And he says that they blame him for not loving their wives. And he says he never says that. But then he says, my only crime is that I didn't love their mother. Which, again, so he says he didn't say it, but then he says it. He ends up like contradicting himself in the exact same sentence. But I noticed something here. And this is, again, I think how he pits her against them is he reminds her that everyone hates her. So he like fuels her paranoia by reminding her that everyone hates her and blames her, which makes me think that maybe with conversations that we're not seeing, honestly, maybe he's telling them that he's doing things because of Robyn. Maybe he's doing things and making the kids feel like it's Robyn's fault that he has to do these things. Kind of like how last week, he said that Ariella was like on his leg and she wouldn't let him go and Robyn forced him to stay. And it was really hard for him to leave Robyn's house because of Ariella. And so he was blaming Robyn and and Robyn making him stay for Ariella. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he's blaming Robyn, and so then that gets back to the kids. I don't know, honestly. Like, I the way that he acts with Robyn here, it just I don't like Robyn, but it's very obvious that he plays into Robyn's insecurities and weaponizes them against her. And it's also very clear that when she says, "I'm losing respect for you," he immediately jumps to, "They don't like you. They don't like you. Why would I want to talk to them to have to defend you?" Again, like playing into her victimness. It's like he keeps her subordinate in her victimness and he encourages it and enables it. It's like it festers. It is so weird and gross. And but these kids have a right to have these feelings. And Robyn can't even get a damn word out because Kody keeps walking all over her. And he's so escalated and so irritated. And so fans watching this are like, I kind of take Robyn's side, but I don't agree with her because she created a lot of this drama. And then part of me is like, but Kody kind of created a lot of it too. And I also kind of wonder how much Kody has fueled the narrative that Robyn is doing all of these things. Just some food for thought.
Is blaming me for what happened, or you. What I do, just say, oh, okay, you can call Robyn whatever you want.
No, you can say they can talk to me. I would love to work it out with each of them, any of them that have an issue.
Where this hate for Robyn came from, I don't know, but it's like, if I can't protect her from it, I'm just not going. She never did anything to you. What are you complaining about? I just loved her, and I didn't love your mother, okay? So there's the guilt.
You know how he says he always needs to protect Robyn from everyone? I almost feel like he isolated her because he doesn't want her to know any of their grievances and any of the truth about what's been going on in their lives. You know what I mean? Like, if he can silo her and compartmentalize her away from what he's done and the abuse that's happened, and she doesn't know about it, she can stay ignorant. You know what I mean? Like, he protects her from them. And but then he also says again, I don't love your mother. I loved her and I didn't love your mother. But he never said that he didn't love their mother. The root issue here is these kids feel abandoned. Whether they dislike Robyn or not for valid reasons doesn't really matter. The kids were abandoned by Kody because he chased Robyn's tail, okay? He was bored with the other women. Kody always needs something new and exciting. And in polygamy, they always blame the woman. Always. Because you don't blame the dad. So he lets them blame the woman, but then he tells Robyn he needs to protect her from them because he doesn't want to engage with them. Make it make sense. The way that he treats everyone is atrocious. Even the way that he makes Robyn paranoid is atrocious. You know, even the way that he has made Robyn's kids feel like everyone hates them is atrocious. He literally tries to make everyone feel like everyone hates them or paint someone a certain way so that they don't want to get to know them. So he's villainizing his children to Robyn so that Robyn's suspicious of them. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know how these two will even stay married. And honestly, he's like so loud and so bombastic here. It almost makes me feel like the fight could have been like, if you don't do this, Kody, I'm leaving you. I can't stay in this marriage with you because she said, I'm losing respect for you, which is kind of like saying, I'm done. Because Kody said, if you don't have respect for him, he doesn't care about you. So if she doesn't respect him, their marriage is over, right? It's basically like, if you don't do this, I'm out. That's kind of a threat.
And I'm dealing with my own about it. I need to get this because I just...
Robyn, Gabriel, yes, I have.
Any of the other kids?
Hunter, but I'm received with total contempt.
They're getting fed information that is not true, is one-sided.
Well, then they could be mad at their mothers 10 years from now when they want a relationship with
They need you in their life.
All they have to do is answer when I call without having total contempt for me.
This whole argument is weird because I kind of feel like if Robyn would have cared about all of this, she would have said something a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like, I know she's been saying for years that she worries about the kids, but her behavior doesn't match that because like when they had the opportunity to get together for Christmas, she told them that she didn't want to see them on Christmas. And she reminded Kody that he couldn't be safe around his children. She didn't want to have a big fight at the house. So what is this fight about? Like, it feels like now she cares about the kids. Now she's trying to figure out why the kids don't talk to him. And it kind of seems like some of these relationships are too far gone. Like, these kids are done with Kody being Kody. They've figured out who he is. And she tries to blame the women here and say they're getting fed information, they're getting brought into a divorce, they're hearing only one side. But I don't think this is about divorce. I mean, I feel like their split, Janelle and Cody's split, was because of how Kody was treating them. It is a product of how he treated them. And they were angry before they even split. They didn't want to talk to him before Janelle and Kody even split. They didn't want Janelle and Kody to be together because they didn't like how Kody was treating Janelle. It had nothing to do with the divorce. They had their own opinions about Kody based on their own experiences. And they've been dealing with Kody for years, years. And now Robyn wants Kody to suddenly care about kids that he hasn't cared about for years. How? How does that even happen?
I am so angry that when somebody opens up to me, I'm likely to lash out. Robyn, I can't even get it straight with you right now.
You need to figure it out because it's hard on us.
You know anybody who's gone through 3 divorces in
the fact
like
that
really kind of almost 1 or 2 years?
No, Kody, I know.
I'm not looking for your pity. I'm looking for understanding, Robyn.
I am.
But you're losing respect for me. Is that from your own experience with your father?
Robyn has said a lot of different times that if she can't respect Kody, she can't be married to a man that she doesn't respect. And Kody says that he values respect more than love. I do wonder if Cody's change in his relationships and wanting love to be the focal point and wanting respect to be it happened with Robyn, because that's what Robyn values, is she needs to respect him, and now she doesn't respect him. You know what I mean? And he keeps saying, like, you're losing respect for me. I feel like this is like coded language, like, if I don't change, you're going to leave me. I kind of feel like that's what this argument is about. Like, she's at the end of her rope. And so he's like, well, I need to fix things with you because my relationship with you is falling apart, you know? There's so many different convoluted conversations that happen within this, and it takes so many different turns and twists, and Robyn's emotional and Kody keeps repeating himself, and you just have to wonder, like, how unbalanced this kind of argument must make someone feel. Like, I feel like I'm like, he has repeated himself a million times. And then when she finally tries to express herself, he then tries to bring her back to her trauma of like what happened with her dad. And that must be why he's mad at her. She's mad at him. It can't have anything to do with the fact that he's the one behaving this way. It has to be because she has trauma about her dad. You know what I mean? Like, is he gaslighting her about her own trauma? I get very confused at times while these two are arguing. There's times where I'm like, Robyn, why do you care? And then there's other times like, Kody, why are you doing this to Robyn? And then there's other times I'm like, is this argument even real?
I mean, I have not betrayed these kids.
I just know how much I need my dad.
Kids who are mad at me get together, and they're all colluding to, not all.
Kody,
have days where I want to talk about
Listen, they're hurting. Their whole family is in pieces, and they don't know how it's going to turn out. That's got to be hard for them. Don't you see that?
Oh, I see that.
As much as I want to like praise Robyn for being the voice of reason here, because Cody's saying that they're all colluding about him and they're all talking, and she's saying the kids are hurting, divorce is hard, and then she goes on to this whole like diatribe and says that kids get brought into divorces and it's hard for them and it's messy for them and they get dragged into other people's drama. And I thought, this is weird, Robyn. Didn't you do this to your ex-husband? Didn't you drag your kids into your fight with your ex-husband and make your kids believe that your ex-husband was evil? Didn't you do that? Didn't you make your kids feel like your ex-husband was a deadbeat dad? Didn't you force your ex-husband to sign away rights to his kids so that he doesn't get to have a relationship with his kids? So she admits that her dad abandoned her and she doesn't have a relationship with him. But then she repeated the pattern with her ex-husband and put her daddy issues on her kids. So she's got daddy issues because of what happened to her as a kid. And she transmutes that, as Kody would say, onto her kids by pulling Preston away from his kids. Where was she fighting for Preston when Preston was being alienated from his kids? Why was it okay for her to alienate her kids from Preston and keep him from Preston and tell the kids all her one-sided view about Preston? Remember that? Like, she made everyone think that Preston was dangerous and abusive and didn't want to be a dad, when that's not true. He didn't want to not be a dad. And then she forced him to give up parental rights because he owed her money, and the way that he would be able to see them and not have to pay back the debt that Kody caused would be by, I can still let you see the kids as long as you give up your rights and Kody can adopt them. Who was masterminding that? Was that Kody or Robyn? Because it kind of feels like now she's trying to fight for other kids, but she's also alienated her kids from the Brown kids. This is where I'm like, Robyn, do you see your hypocrisy here? Do you even see your own hypocrisy?
Can I just have some time then? Can you give me enough space with this without losing respect for me?
Yeah. But they don't understand that.
They think I did something?
Yes.
What would they think I did? Didn't love their mother?
Anything that they've been told. There was a lot of misunderstandings through COVID. Some of them thought that you wanted to be here instead of with them, and that's why you made the rules.
And now they're going to start talking about COVID, and I can't even, because Kody's all paranoid that Robyn doesn't respect him, and now Robyn wants to remind everyone that she had nothing to do with the COVID rules, which I don't believe for a second. I believe Robyn was paranoid about her own health, and Kody was playing into the paranoia, and I think Kody was paranoid about his own health, and I think that it was a way for them not to have to interact with people to create these rules, but they also had a job. They had TLC, and they wanted these rules to be a certain way so they didn't have to have any interactions with the family. And then when COVID was over, then they developed new rules. There was always rules that Kody put in place to alienate the kids from him. So Robyn saying this, I was just like, at that point, I was like, really, Robyn? Is this just your opportunity to try to like look like the victim of this? Because they blame Robyn for the rules. I believe Kody made the rules, but I believe Kody made the rules based upon Robyn's paranoia and his paranoia. I also believe that Kody fuels Robyn's paranoia and her trauma against her, but I also feel like Robyn weaponizes and manipulates her trauma against Kody. It's like a sickle. The Robyn manipulates Kody and Kody manipulates Robyn, and they like just boing off of each other. They're the most toxic couple, and watching them fight about this makes my head explode because it invalidates everything those kids experienced. They have a right to be mad at Robyn, and they have a right to be mad at Kody equally for that. Kody even admitted that he gave up on the relationships. He gave up on the relationships, meaning he made rules to justify the fact that he didn't have to see them because he gave up. It was because he wanted to be with Robyn and no one else. That is why they made the rules, Robyn. They didn't make this up in their head. Just saying.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with you
I'm
anymore.
too hot-headed right now, Robyn.
Okay.
All I'll do is more
Okay,
damage.
I just want to know you're trying, because this needs these relationships do need to get mended.
You know what, Robyn? We've had such a struggle with this. I'd almost rather just take some time to get in a better place with you and me, and it's hurt us more than it's hurt them.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. It's good to hear.
Well, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not meaning for it to come out on you.
Cody somehow pacifies this argument by putting up more roadblocks about why he can't talk to his kids. So he's not talking to his family because he gave up. We're all on the same page. The new argument for why he can't talk to them now is because he's too angry and he'll be triggered and he'll take it out on them and he'll yell at them. That's why. Before it was because they wouldn't apologize to Robyn. Before then, it was because they weren't complying with COVID. There's always a new reason why Kody won't talk to his kids. And Robyn's all, you need to mend these relationships. And Kody admits that he made mistakes in COVID, shockingly, and says that he tried to force the kids to move out, Garrison Gabriel, and didn't go to Isabel's surgery. And he admits those decisions put bad blood in the family, obviously. And then he tries to pacify Robyn by reminding her that nobody's been more hurt than him and her in the entire situation. Not the kids, not the family. And again, reminding Robyn that it's the kids that are actually destroying their relationship and making him act this way. So he takes no responsibility for the way that he's acting with her and at home and with his anger. And it's the kid's problem that they make him lash out, not his own fault and an inability to control himself. And then he reminds himself and her that they're victims of the kids. He is constantly pitting them against each other. It's insane.
My heart is broken. I'm sitting here with the person that I love the most in the world, and my heart's still broken. What do I do with that?
My heart's broken too.
You react with this very special and sweet emotion that you have. I am angry. I'm angry out of my mind.
The kids are always the collateral damage when this happens.
But I'm not trying to damage them.
No, but just keep trying. That's all I'm asking, okay?
The only way that Kody can end this conversation with Robyn is by pacifying her and saying that he will keep trying just a little bit. And that's like her way of saying that, like, I will stay with you as long as you keep trying just a little bit. Nothing gets resolved because he's lying. He's not going to keep trying. And he's not telling her that he's done with them, he's over it, and that he doesn't want a relationship with them. But he's also not telling her that the kids are accusing him of things and they don't want a relationship with him. He has to accept responsibility and he won't. So it'll never get fixed and he is who he is. This explosive fight showed a couple things to me. One, Kody and Robyn are both toxic. Two, they both manipulate each other. Three, they both lack the ability to take responsibility for their own actions in this entire thing. Four, you get what you ask for. Robyn wanted Kody all to herself and now she's got him, and look how that's doing it for her. And Kody is basically Robyn's dad. So she's marrying her father. And 6, he weaponizes her trauma against her. She weaponizes her trauma against him. That's how their relationship works. That's why the kids say it's manipulative, because she's always the victim. And he just will not admit to her that he doesn't care, because he knows that if he does, she'll leave him. So he just keeps stringing her along. So he is stringing her along to believe that he will repair these relationships, when I don't believe he has any intention of doing that at all. So he strings all the ladies on in different ways. He manipulates them all in different ways. Robyn in this relationship is going to continue to unravel, because next week she's going to be crying even more. And Kody's going to be desperate to try to fix their relationship. Now, in another video today, I'm going to talk about some of the accusations that these kids are making and why these accusations there's no coming back, and no amount of what Kody could do could ever fix the damage. Kody can't fix a relationship because the kids have put up a boundary and they don't want one with him. And that's what Robyn refuses to understand. So let me know what your thoughts are about all of this in the comments below. There was actually a tear going down her face. I don't know if it was because it was cold and it was from Kody's sweat, or maybe he spit on her, but it looked like a tear. What are your thoughts? Make sure to leave a comment below. You guys, we are 10,000 subscribers away from 400,000. So close. Please make sure, if you are watching my content, to click on the subscribe button. It is free. You don't have to pay. All you have to do is click and you'll never miss a video. Make sure to click on the notifications bell so you never miss a video too. Thank you all so much for watching. I know this was a longer one. I'll be back later with more. Bye, everyone.